Yeah. It's Provincial Woman of Truth, yeah. Right here on YouTube. Exactly 7:30 p.m. PV show. It's the present view right here. PV show. Right here. It's the present view. Present view. It's the PV show. You're welcome. Relax. Let's bring your way. Issues related to business, marriage, real life story, campus plight, issues related to fatherhood, motherhood. Baby show. Hey, yeah. Baby show.
Hello everyone, my name is Maft. My name is Maft. I know you're wondering what Maft means. Maft means Mabel Faitano. You can call me Maft from this season of the PV Show's Moments of Truth on YouTube this and every Sunday exactly 7:30 p.m. You're welcome once again. It's been a long time. This is a show where we discuss facts, be it in academics, marriage, business, ministry, fatherhood, motherhood, home management, organizational development, behavior, and every other thing that will help you grow and become a better person to make the right impact in our generation and beyond. On the PV show Moments of Truth, be rest assured that issues worrying your mind will be discussed, analyzed, evaluated, and get to the best solution that will help you to implement the right things.
It's a baby show. Baby show. Yeah, it's a baby show. Baby show.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the PV Show's Moments of Truth right here on YouTube this and every Sunday exactly 7:30 p.m. It's an honor to be at the GCK-GH Secretariat, and I'm here with the Secretary of the Coordinator at the GCK-GH Secretariat. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so how many months have you served at the Secretariat?
I would say from January up to June 7th. From 16th January up to June on the 7th.
Okay.
2003.
Okay. How did you join the Secretariat at the first place?
Oh, an advert was placed out there, and I was led to apply. That was all. And I applied, I was interviewed, and I was selected to be among the few.
Okay. So when you came, how many people did you meet, and what were you expecting at the beginning of the program? At the beginning of the project.
As at workers, I met Faith You.
Okay.
I met Almighty Capkis, Ephraim.
Okay.
Almighty Same, and Nana.
Okay.
Initially, we were just 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah. So I was like, more should have come on board, but well, and our coordinator also encouraged that during the GCK, some people will be added to the secretariat. So that one too served as an encouragement. But from the initial stage, I wanted you should have been more, because we have a lot of youth in the church who can serve in various capacities, but we were few. But with the help of God and the encouragement from our coordinator, we were able to achieve.
Okay. All right. So when you finally started the project itself, what were some of the challenges you faced, especially working with different people? We are from different backgrounds. What were some of the challenges? Did anybody give you a tough time?
You particularly one. Catcase too.
Okay.
Everybody here.
Okay. What happened? What were your challenges?
Oh, we are from different backgrounds. And sometimes the way you want something to be done, it's different from the way you are. You see me, I'm the house type. Oh, this is here. But faith will tell you that, trying, may you call me be sir. I getting it. With that, sometimes there's a little friction, but I don't last. We all compromise and we do the work together to the glory of God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so before we move to the next person, what message do you have for people out there?
Oh, it's good to do the work of God. And it's good to serve in the house of God. No matter your level of education, no matter your experience, if there's a project of this sort, I will encourage the youth out there to give in their best. They should come together and come and help the work of God. And it's good to work with pastors to know various things about them, but you don't look into the ark. If you are working with a pastor, you don't look into the ark. It was a first message our coordinator gave us. He said, as we are here, we should not look into the ark. Because you are working with Pastor Tusia. So you can talk to Pastor Tusia anyhow. And now only peniphobic kasa, you can just work or two. No, you don't look into the ark. In fact, it has been a nice time working with these pastors. And some of the pastors, this is the first time me meeting them. Some of them I've seen them before, but I've not talked to them before. But in a nutshell, they are all coordinating. They are lovely.
Wow.
And things.
Wow.
We are human beings. All hands are not equal. There may be some bad, but in all, the positive aspect outweighs the bad. So I will encourage all the youth to come on board. Don't listen to somebody. Be who you are, and come on board and come and work in the house of God to glorify God. Because there's more blessing in doing the work of God. The Pentecost people always say that.
What does it mean in English for English speaking countries?
Look at God's work. God. Anna. What do you say? Okay. Catechist will help me with that.
Okay. When I get to him.
Yes, Catechist will help me with that explanation. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Auntie Pat, it has been a great honor working with you. Though sometimes you make things difficult for me. But I really learned a lot with how you are dedicated to the work of God.
Thank God.
My first experience with you, did we have some misunderstanding? Yeah. We had a little misunderstanding. I know I'm very stubborn sometimes, but thank you so much.
You're always stubborn.
Thank you so much.
But stubborn in the quote.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Auntie Pat. God bless you. All right, so we'll move to the next person. We are going to the catechist. In fact, my first experience with this gentleman, the first time I met him was one of my conferences I was doing. He was so cool. Then I had to come and work with him for 6 months. Hi, so I am here with the hello. Yes, so I'm here with the catechist. In fact, this is the only gentleman in the secretariat that will always tell you that, guys, pray for me. Guys, I need prayers. You people don't think I'm not working. No, I am doing so much. I am working. If you see me quiet, I am thinking. Honestly, it's been a great time working with this gentleman here. He is the event planner for the GCK-Secretariat-GH during the preparation for the upcoming of the Global Crusade with Kumuyi. This was the gentleman that God actually called to come and serve as the event planner of Global Crusade with Kumuyi. You are welcome.
Thank you.
For me, meeting you at the Secretariat, I think the first week we had, I can't remember what exactly the issue was, but I remember we had an issue. We had a disagreement. We were not agreeing on something, and my heart was boiling. But how did you end up working at the Secretariat? How did it happen?
Okay, so first of all, I'll give thanks to God because how everything happened was just by His doing. Because I remember when I saw the message, so before I saw the message, the coordinator on campus saw me. I was like, "This is what is about to happen." So he mentioned one of the overseers, and I'm like, "Okay, I'll wait for response." So later on, I saw it on our platform. I did what I was supposed to do, applied and everything. So I was called and interviewed. And to the glory of God, one day I was just there and I checked my email. I saw the letter. And I was like, okay, we are going to Accra. So,
From Kumasi,
yeah,
right?
from Kumasi.
Okay.
So we are going to Accra. So I started preparing. Yeah. So that's where it started from.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you got here, after the inauguration, right?
Yeah.
Yes, after the inauguration.
Oh, the open-
Was it?
the
Yes,
opening.
after the opening ceremony, you were to work with some group of people.
Yeah.
What was the first experience you had working with this team?
Thank you. Because, okay, so from the onset, I knew that it was going to be tough. Yeah, because, working with people from different backgrounds and understanding. And, with my background and everything, doing events for some time now, I realized that if certain things are going to be achieved, it's not every day that you can be quiet. Yeah, there are some times that you just have to be a little
Hard.
bit, not hard on yourself, but like you have to know how to fit into situations. Because there are times where you have to be calm and just talk to the person. There are times where you just have to be, like, you just have to tell the person as it is. Sometimes you just have to just close your eyes and overlook it. So I had to really know how to put all these things where they do belong. So that's how it was. So coming back to how it was, yeah, it's been a fantastic journey because I've been able to learn a lot.
What were
Yes.
some of the challenges you had?
Okay.
Working with the
So-
team, also during the Global Crusade itself, what were some of your challenges?
Okay, so working with a team, I don't know, but the reason why I don't know what is actually the challenge is that after all, we were successful. We were successful. So
Did
I've
you
not
have
really.
to deal with the attitudes or character of, the different personalities we had here?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like I said,
People were taking your work,
despite the individual differences, sometimes you just have to allow because one thing that I realized that the GCK-Ghana was, or let me say, okay, GCK-Ghana was a big project, and everyone came willingly to help. So in the case where emotions are involved, everyone wants to feel important and all that. Just know when and where to allow certain things and when not to allow things to happen, to make sure that everything is still in line. So in a case where sometimes the reason why I do this, because I was so concerned because I don't want it to be like
You're not doing
we
your work?
going on, not even not doing my work, but in a case where if we should veer off the path we are going, how is it going to look like? And we had already had comments that you get it.
Yeah.
All those things. So I was a little bit concerned. So when someone is doing something, and especially when I see that what the person is doing is a little bit like we are not very sure, I get a little bit
Okay, so
aggressive and all
looking at
that.
the main program, the turnout, how everything ended, what do you have to say about that? And what message do you have to give to the young ones coming up when it comes to volunteering to serve,
Okay.
do something for the house of God or work of God?
Okay, so looking at the program, we just give all the glory to God because I remember when the GS came to Ghana, the arrival ceremony. I just stood and I was just looking at them and I'm like, God. So me too, I'm part of the people who came together to make sure that everything has finally come. So I was very excited. So moving on to people coming on board or working for God, right? I would say that just give your all to God. Okay, just give your all to God, because you won't give a penny to God and you won't receive in full. So when you're just giving, just go all out for God. Yeah. So that's what I can say.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
No, but
it.
before I leave, what was your experience working with me also?
You know, I had to maybe this one will say it off camera.
No, say it. Because we interviewed
You say it off camera.
What was the experience?
You know you're a boss in your own line, right? And I'm also a boss. So it was more of like two different bosses coming from it's like it's like two captains in the same team. So it was like you see, in a football game, you don't see two captains, two players from the same team having captain on one. I guess assistants and all that. But because we came from different area, we all have the mentality of leaders. So at that point, it was a little bit conflicting for this one to submit to this and this person to as in taking instruction or taking an order or taking so we had that kind of differences. So at the beginning it was that way. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful year. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to move to the next person. She is the graphic designer for GCK Secretariat GH, and this lady has been amazing. She's going to take the next session for us. Join me. Yeah, so we are here with Majesty Efua Chinto, and she has been the graphic designer for GCK-GH Secretariat. She was one of the young ladies that was brought on board, though there were other people that were also working with us alongside. She was brought on board to come and help us with the graphic designs during the Global Crusade with Kumuyi. Majesty, you are welcome on board.
Thank you.
So what has been the toughest moment working with GCK Secretariat as the graphic designer?
Wow, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Working for GCK-GH as our term has been fun, has been really fun. But toughest moment, it hasn't been easy. Not at all. Because most times, I don't know, like most people think when they give you a graphic design work, just in the next minute or something, the work is supposed to be ready. But that's not the case. Sometimes a work comes in, and then the next 30 minutes, they start asking, is the work done? I need it, we need it. And it hasn't been easy. Sometimes you have no idea. My mind can be blank, and I'll be thinking, what will I do? The only thing I can say is I just pray out, like, God help me, God help me. What do I do? What idea? And sometimes an idea comes to mind, I can put it down first, but it doesn't go well. Then later, last minute, something else comes to mind, and immediately it's done. I just feel like, God, thank you. Because within short periods, you're able to do things that you don't know you'll be able to do. And then at the end, like I'll just be saying in my mind, like, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you. Because from the beginning, you wouldn't know. So even though it has been tough, it's been fun. It's been fun. All the diehards working through the night, not closing late, making sure works are ready, and even though sometimes there are mistakes, but I just thank God. Everything went on well. Like, glory to God.
All right. But then I want to find out from you, working with Antipat, our catechist, honorable catechist, Samuel, Ike, Christabel, and myself. How has it been? What has the experience been?
The only thing is the work. You give me
when
plenty work. Yes.
When we are talking to you, plenty
work. It's been fun working with everyone. Like, knowing everyone. In fact, so you have known you personally, but all the others, it's new, but it's been great. It's been lovely.
I remember the first time she entered here. It's as if she knows everybody.
Yes.
She was just smiling as if, it's been great working with you.
Yes, it's been.
So a short message to the young people out there or anyone out there who intend to, volunteer and work in the house of God, or anyone who intends to work in the house of God. Any message for the person?
No, working in the house of God it's fun. Sometimes we tend to think, what do I get after working for God? You'll be like, oh, you don't get much money, you can't get anything. But if you know who you are working for, even though you are working for man, but in all, it is not man that you are working with. That person is representing Christ. So you working in a position like that, that means you are working for God. Whatever benefit comes with it, fine. You just tell God that, oh yes, I've gotten this. But if nothing comes, you should still work for God. But I can tell you that working for God, in fact, you get a whole lot of things. Like there are a whole lot of benefits that comes with working for God.
It hasn't been boring working with Deeper Life.
No, not
people have
at
that
all.
assumption that working with Deeper Life is hasn't been boring.
It hasn't been boring. You just have to bear in mind that you do die hard. So just sync your mind with it.
Right.
Yes, that's the only thing. Die hard is there. Just have it. If you know, working with Deeper Life is fun. Just the die hard. Maybe if it can be changed to do.
All right. We'll look
But
at that.
it's very fun.
All right.
The church is a great one, and I've loved and I love it. I thank God for it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Majesty.
you.
God bless you.
Amen.
I'll join you same time. I'm moving to the next person. Hello guys, thank you for joining us. If you are still here, you are watching the PV show Moments of Truth right here on YouTube this and every Sunday exactly 7:30 p.m. If you haven't subscribed to the PV show, kindly click on the subscription button to subscribe to the PV show. I'm moving to the next person. And guess who the next person is? The next person we are moving to is Samuel Chum Ejay, and he is the second in command secretary of GCK Secretariat GH. He has been an amazing person. Working with him has been a blessing. So we are moving to him, and kindly join us as we go. Thank you, Majesty. Mr. Samuel, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so we just want to find out from you, how did you get to work at the Secretariat, GCK Secretariat GH?
Okay. I think personally, I was sent the link by my brother Ephraim. Okay. He asked me about the work and the link being open for people to apply. So I gave it a try, not really as something to come in and then work, but to offer the necessary help needed. So I came in with the mindset to give my best, deliver, and then whatever the Lord will have me do, I do. So that was how I came in, went through the interview process and all of that.
Okay.
Yes.
So you came in as a volunteer.
Yeah.
The first person we spoke to, the second person, the third person, Antipat, Ephraim, Majesty, and now Samuel. All of them came in as volunteers. Now, the question is, were there some expectations when you came in? How was the experience working with the new people you happened to meet here? What were some of the experiences?
Okay. Working with people for quite a while, I did not meet quite something way different than the usual meeting up with people. And it's been wonderful working with everyone. Everybody I know is uniquely different, and that is how God made it. God never made two people the same, and that is how God is. So it's been fun. It's been wonderful.
What were some of the challenges you faced working at the Secretariat?
Challenges. Okay. Personally, I would say the challenge I had to work with is going to Kumasi and coming in the way I wanted to offer fully. I think that was an impairment to that ability, but nonetheless everything was fine. The pressure, Okay, very good.
All right. Before we leave, you have also been working with people for a very long time. What message would you want to give to the young people out there, and any other person who want to work in the house of God and working with ministers as a whole?
Okay, so I'll take it in twofold. One, working in the house of God, and I'll come to that of the ministers. Working in the house of God has been a wonderful thing. Personally, that is where I developed myself. I was very quiet, not outgoing and all of that. So the house of God was where I learned to speak openly, speak to the public. I remember my first day I was told to read the Bible in church. It was something else for me. But since then, I've been able to stand up to people. That's where my person was helped, personality shown. It was all in the house of God. So I would advise that you give your all to the things of God. The other things I do, which had nothing to do with my training, and it's as a result of working in the house of God. I've worked with the technical team, sound, organization, decoration, everything I learned in the church, ushering, media, protocol, everything came from the church. So that's how I've been helped. When it comes to working with men of God, one of the greatest lessons I learned and really emphasized when we came here together was when Pastor was talking to us about familiarity. So throughout our stay and everything, that was one of my prayers, that, it's different to know someone from afar and I'm coming very close. There are two experiences. So I really was always praying that the pastors I've known, giving them the honor as I've known them from pulpit, God will help me to sustain it and even revere them the more than taking them for granted, because they've given room for you to come closer. And then people that you wouldn't on a normal day have been able to pick your phone and call them. Now you have to do that, even at odd hours and all of that. So I do not take that for granted, and I really thank God that through it all, He has really helped me to sustain that level of decorum working with them.
So now, what message do you have for the younger people in this twofold you just spoke about?
Okay, so I'll inform them that they should be watchful, careful, respectful, very respectful towards their colleagues and any other person you work with. Don't treat people because you know their title, you know them, you know who they are. Don't do that. Everybody, give them the maximum respect. The person could even be your colleague. Who knows what the person will become the next time you see the person. So everyone, deal with them with high level of respect.
Okay, and working with ministers as well?
Working with ministers, they are men of God or women of God in a way. You must know the man at every point in time. Learn to decipher between the man and when the of God is active. There's a place where he's man, the person is man. But you should be able to discern when the of God comes in. Yes. You should be able to tell.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Actually, you made the place, the atmosphere
Yeah.
too spiritual and anyway. But thank you so much for joining us on the PB
You're
show.
welcome.
We'll see you sometime. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We are moving to the next person, and guess who? Just hearing her voice alone, she's speaking alone. In fact, you know that she's not from here. She's not supposed to be here. She's actually supposed to be, a brochure girl. Yes, so the next person we are bringing on board is the editor of GCK-GH. She has been editing everything that we send out there. She ensures that everything, grammar, speech, everything, sentences, BBI are correct. As I'm speaking, she's even actually marking my grammar. Join me as we interview a woman, a lady, obedient. All right, join me. All right, so the lady I was actually talking about, you can see how beautiful she looks. She is the editor of GCK-Ghana Secretariat. Madam, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so how did you happen to join GCK Secretariat?
Okay, so I was at home one day and I received a call from, so I'm a fresh national service graduate. Okay. I finished my national service in November actually. And I was working, just taking online courses at home. And I've been speaking to Professor Charles Samwati, my associate coordinator at University of Ghana, Legon, and he asked me, Christabel, wouldn't you want to spend 1 month at the Secretariat? They are looking for more hands. Yes, he said they are looking for more hands there. Like, there's a lot of work, and they need people to come and help out. So just 1 month, I should just come and help out. And I was like, okay, since I'm not really doing anything like serious, anything, yeah, I can just come for 1 month, yeah. And he said, okay, he'll get back to me. So he spoke to Pastor Tumsia.
Okay.
And Pastor Tumsia said I should come to the Secretariat the next day. Yeah, so that same day, he said the next day I should come. So I came and I met him, and we had a short interview. I was like, I should come, I start tomorrow. Like, the next day was a Friday. So I came on a Friday, and yeah, that's how I joined the Secretariat.
Wow. Your first day entering this place, you saw different faces. What was your first experience when you entered? What actually came to your mind immediately you entered this place?
So before I actually entered here, I'd heard stories about secretariats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd heard stories. I heard a lot of stories about GCK Secretariat people. Oh, so when I entered, I was like, so these are the people working at the Secretariat. So like, wow. I was like,
what did you hear? Tell us what did you hear?
That will come later. That will come later.
You tell us.
Yes. I was like, oh, so these are people working at the Secretariat. I was like, oh, okay. I already know Faith.
Okay.
So she was the only person I knew, and Auntie Pat. Yeah, the only two people I knew.
Okay.
So I was just watching and observing. I'm a quiet person. Yes. And
do you think she's quiet? It depends. Okay.
I'm naturally quiet. I'm a quiet person, actually. And so when I entered, I was like, okay. And I was so Pastor Tumsia wasn't here when I came, so I was waiting. I was just talking to you, I was waiting. Then I was just observing. 1 minute, Ephraim will go and sit at the secretary's table. Then you make a call on the telephone, and Faith to pick up, and then small, yeah, everyone is talking, and that's when I was like, is it because I'm here that's why everyone is just like, they don't want me to hear, they should just tell me I can go outside or something. Yeah. So I was just sitting just quiet on my phone and just observing. Yeah, then so I was just like observing how everyone was at that point. Majesty was Majesty was just a friendly person, like just naturally friendly. And I met Ike. He was also a cool person, cool and quiet and calm and collected. You already know you all over the place. And for Ephraim was I didn't know, like he was. I didn't know if was like the boss of you guys, so like that was the impression I got. Like he's like people, you're like like he was in command over here. Okay. So I was just okay. These are the people I'm coming to work with. Wow. I was just okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I haven't talked about
Samuel.
Yeah, Samuel and Auntie Pat. So when I came, Auntie Pat hadn't yet come, so she came later in the day. I already knew her, so I was like, oh, Auntie Pat, yeah. And Samuel, I met him like the following week. That was Monday.
Okay.
When I entered the office, there was someone sitting at the secretary's desk, and I was like, who is this person? I was like, I don't know this person. This face is new. No, the face was not new because I'd seen his face somewhere some time ago. But I didn't know, like, yeah. But I heard you guys talking about some fried yam, and then a yam and some Samuel yam. Yeah, so when I came, I was like, maybe this is the yam person. Yeah, so I was just, so that's...
Wow, your experience is quite different from all of us. Yeah. But what did you hear? What did you hear about the people working at Secretariat? we want to hear some.
Are they true? What?
Well, okay, yes. So when you tell us what you heard, with what you've experienced working with us, are they actually true?
But I know this is not part of my interview questions.
Don't worry. But you,
Okay. Okay, so what I heard before coming was that I'll just mention one. Okay, so Secretariat people are there doing everything. Yeah, Secretariat is just supposed to sit there and like coordinate and all, but they have taken the whole thing World Cup. They are doing they are doing everything. They want to do everything. They want like everyone wants like that kind of thing. They are taking everyone's working. Some like there's this Ephraim guy over there who you gotta meet that Ephraim guy over there, and all of those. So I was just okay, everyone has had this perception about Secretariat people, like Secretariat they are just they are some
But when you came, what did you see?
When I came, to be honest, when I came, like the first week, I was seeing. So I wasn't. How will you put it? How will I put it? Okay, let me just say in relation to what I said. So the first week I wasn't really seeing things well because there was some kind of bad spirit like going around like amongst, because people are always fighting with each other, arguing, crying with each other. So I was confused. It was also like adding up to like the comments I received before I came. So like it's just so true. That's what's happening.
I think that week I was either having an issue with Ephraim or
every time like there was the two of you are arguing, then some here, some but but as time went on, I realized that was just pressure that was like should I say pressure? I'll just attribute that to pressure on people's heads. And that made like it was a lot, so some people can't handle pressure like very well, so it comes out like different ways. And but as time has gone, at the time I've spent here like 2.5 months, almost 3 months, everyone has been wonderful actually, and
you
most
saw
of
the workload, and it wasn't like we're taking people's work.
It's not like they are taking people's work. People are actually not doing the work they're supposed to do, so we had to do it eventually. And how do I say? We actually like the workers work hard. They are hardworking. They do what they are supposed to do. You don't know what they are going through over here. So if you're not here, you don't stay outside and say something you're not sure of.
But what has been your main challenge also working here? Some of the challenges you had? And your testimonies. Good testimonies.
Main challenge working here. Well,
as an editor, let me just
as an editor, as an editor, yes. My main challenge working here is that everyone, so I'm supposed to edit works from different people. Everyone has a style of writing. Everyone has an understanding of the English language. I know you get what I mean. So
they know what they mean.
Yes. So people, so I have to understand what the person is trying to type or like to write before bringing it to standard English. And sometimes it gets frustrating, so I just do like
all over.
If I have to do all of that, there's pressure, there's time, like they are time bound. So if I have to do all of that, it will be like a whole different thing. And trying to if I'm doing that, I have to explain to the person, sit down with the person and explain like from A to Z why I'm doing this, and the person might not understand. Like bring a whole lot. So I just try to do it to the best of my capability and the person's understanding, and just solve the issue right there.
Wow.
Okay,
so before we leave, what message would you want to pass across? I know working with the church, some of us are actually working in the church, but when you are called to come and work in the church, out there is a perception about working in the church. You have taken a step to work with the church. What message would you send out there to the young ones, or to, the professionals out there?
Okay, so to the professionals out there, I know you might think working with the church is boring, one, and two, it limits you, like you're restricted because you have your pastors like on your neck, like they're all over you, and you know them only from the pulpits, like that's how you know them, that's the distance you know them. But then if you come to work with them in the church, like in the office setting, it's their how do you call it, their spirits on the pulpit who come like reflect on like in the office and make you like feel a whole like constricted and all of that. But it's way different. It's way different working in the office, working for the church. It's a whole like new experience. It's a like learning experience. It's a beautiful experience actually. You get to know pastors, your leaders in a light you've never seen them like before. Yeah, you get to learn from them. Like some pastors, you see them on public, they've never laughed before. But then when you're working with them, you see them laughing, you see them, they actually have time for you. They tell you their experiences, their life stories, they give you advice that you're not privileged to have like right from the pulpit. And there are lots of lessons. Like it also helps check your spiritual life because you're working for God indirectly. You're working for God because you're working in His house. Yeah, so it helps you check your spiritual life, your spiritual state, and just one more thing. You can work for God not just by coming to the office. There are other ways like you can work for God. So don't just say, oh, if you want to work for God, you have to come into the office. Like you can be wherever you are, but still work for God. You can just volunteer. You are what IT person. You can come and volunteer once in a while. Oh, I can develop this software. I can develop this app for church attendance in your local churches, wherever you are. Every kind of profession is important in the house of God, and just avail yourself for the use of God. Thank you.
Wow. Just avail yourself for the use of God. It's been a great time having you on the show. Thank you so much. What I actually said about her, you heard her English. I mean, you heard her speak. And the grammar, the sentence, it takes her time. If you need an editor, you can kindly call on Christabel. She's not on social media like that, but you can find her. Chrissy, right?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram. My handle is
Hey, you see what I just said?
It's CCBell, it's C._CBell, and on Twitter it's also CCBell. So you just look for me, Christopher. If you see my face as my DP, like you just know I'm no one. Yeah.
And the name is?
It's usually CCBell. So Instagram and Twitter, CCBell.
All right.
There's an underscore somewhere. I just forgotten where the underscore is.
Okay. All right. So if you're looking for an editor to edit your script, any form of research work, and any other script, you can kindly get in touch with her on social media. Just search for CCBell. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. We are moving to the next person, and he is the IT personnel for Global Crusade with Kumuyi, Secretariat GH. He's called Mr. Isaac. Kindly join me. And today we are going to have a wonderful session with him. He's going to reveal, there is a whole lot of things we don't know about this gentleman. He's a very quiet man in this office, that if you enter and you don't look at the corner, you won't know that there is somebody there. Mr. Isaac, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, first of all, how did you hear about the GCK Secretariat?
Okay, so that's a wonderful one. I remember that day I was supposed to go for a visit at the UPSA church, but that's where my cousin fellowship.
Okay.
So in the morning he called and something happened and I had to go to that place, so I couldn't. So he went and then the announcement was made over there. So when he came back, he called that, see, when I told you let's go, there has been this thing and that, so I'm sending it to you for you to apply. That is if you are interested. So when I looked at it, I was, oh, this is a cool one. Let me just put in the application and see. So I did that, and then about some weeks later, I was called to come for an interview at the HQ, or the national headquarters. And then I went.
Well. Okay, but there is something I've been wanting to ask you.
All right.
But, so today I want to use the opportunity to ask. Did you come, okay, first of all, are are you a member of the church? And the reason I'm asking this is I want to see whatever answer you are going to give me, I have something good to really say about it.
All right.
So I would want you to be very honest with me so that I can say what I want to say.
Sure.
Are you a member of the church?
No.
Okay. All right. So one thing I wanted to say is the Secretariat bringing in someone from outside the church alone tells us that indeed the Global Crusade is not just about deeper life.
Yeah.
But other people from different churches are also a part of this whole thing. Now, what has been your experience working with all these deeper life people here? What has been your experience?
Okay, so I would say my part is already rooted in deeper life because even coming here, as I said already, I visit most of your meetings.
Okay.
Way back in Winneba, we used to go to meetings at South Campus, and then in Accra here too, UPSA, and I've even gone to some of your youth program at Santasi almost twice. So at least I know Pastor Fosu, for instance. I know him, so I know like a few of the pastors already, even though I am not a full member of Deeper Life. But as I said, I am halfway rooted in Deeper Life already. So when I got the opportunity, I was like, wow, then this is a good one for me to be able to fit myself into the Deeper Life as a whole. So that was why I was able to take that challenge.
So what was your experience now working with them for some months?
Very fantastic. In fact, I will even say that even my mother church will not even give such opportunity. Someone coming outside from the church is never possible. Because they look at it from that angle that, if they want to bring someone on board to work, it should be someone from
within.
That is the point. So the fact that Deeper Life, gave me such opportunity tells it all. In fact, this is a very good work.
Wow. So what message will you send to non-members of Deeper Life? One thing I've come to understand here is that working for God is not just about denomination.
That is the point.
But from your side, what message would you want to send to people out there?
Yeah, so what I want everyone to know is that at the end of the day, most of our head pastors said it. We all want to bring souls to Christ and not to Deeper Life or GCK. So whether you are coming from assemblies, whether you are coming from apostolic or whatever, the ultimate goal is that we are winning souls for Christ. So if that is rooted in you, wherever that you are put, you should be able to work as if that is where you belong to. And whatever blessing that comes with it, you receive it.
Wow. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Yes, so as you've heard from our brother here, Brother Isaac has been working with us for the past 6 months. We've been working together for the past 6 months, and I'll say that he has been a blessing. He's calm and slow to anger. And if you're coming from any other denomination, just understand that we are one body, we are one people. Wherever you are called to serve there as if that is where you belong, because we are one. And as you've heard from all my colleagues, it's been wonderful serving together. There were some few challenges, misunderstanding here and there, because we are different people from different homes. But amazingly, we've been able to understand each other through the help of God. And this Secretariat has come to a close finally. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going home, but we are waiting for the next Global Crusade that you also will volunteer to help.
Yeah, hello. I'm Yawa Gbenyo, CEO of Youth and Future Incorporated, National PRO of Graduate Students Association, Ghana. Kindly subscribe to the PV show and share on all your social media handles. It's the best show in town now. God bless you.
My name is Charles Kenano. My name is Reverend Emmanuel Opong. My name is Jordan Quantabans.
I'm Shadrach Oponyako.
My name is William Kofitano.
I'm Richard Oponyako.
Keep watching the PV show with Mabel Fitano.
Keep watching the PV show with Mabel.
Keep watching the PV show.
I am Pastor Labi. Keep watching the PV show and don't forget to subscribe. God bless you.
Make sure you click the subscription button to subscribe to the PV show if today is your first time of joining us.
I recommend that